Hey, good morning, all. Happy Monday. Welcome to second quarter. This is a walkthrough for today's major learning task or main learning task, all right? And it's going to be an introduction to universal themes, all right? And so I'm beginning with the resource, all right? So this is the resource that will be attached to today's work. We will use it multiple times this quarter. It's set up in such a way that there are themes that are present in movies, themes that are present in poetry, and themes that are present in literature. Um, I don't want you to get too caught up on that. I just want you to see it as like, here's a list of themes to consider to help give you guys the language of universal themes. All right. And this is what I will say about universal themes. Themes are threads for the human experience. Okay. These are the things that are present. All right. And I think as we do our work, hopefully you'll notice not only are they present, but they also work in such a way that sometimes they connect us and sometimes they divide us. All right. And really, then that leads us to our essential question for the quarter, which is how does the human experience both connect us and divide us? All right. And so that's something I want you to think about as we're doing our work. All right. So here's the resource. You're going to use it for two things today. The first thing you're going to use it for is this universal themes top hat exercise that we're going to do. And this is essentially how it's set up, guys. So here's a graphic organizer down here. I want you to go back to this list. I want you to go through this list, and as you're going through it, I want you to be looking for things that connect us and divide us. All right. So, for example, um, let's say that we're looking at identity here. All right. Um, this is something that is present in the human experience. We all have to figure out who we are, but sometimes identity can connect us and sometimes it can divide us. All right. Maybe identity connects me because I identify with people who are like me. Maybe identify our identity divides us because I don't connect or I'm divided from people who are not like me. All right. And so, um, I don't want you to get too worried about being wrong or right here. I just want you to think about like I'm exploring universal themes, and as I do that, I'm going to list 10 ideas that I've discovered that seem to connect us, and 10 ideas over here that seem to divide us from this list over here. Okay, and so you can just simply type those in or copy and paste those in. All right. It is certainly possible, just as I shared with identity, that we might have the same theme on both sides. All right. Then what I would like you to do is I would like you to compare and contrast your lists. Okay. And then down here for the discussion, please discuss what you have discovered about universal themes from your analysis of this activity. What have you learned about or discovered about universal themes? Please take a few moments down here and discuss what you have come up with. Again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about simply discussing what is. And what is right now is you've gone through an activity, you've identified some universal themes, you have said these connect, these divide. And from that work, this is what I have discovered about universal themes. And you'll write your answer down here. Don't worry about being right or wrong, okay? That's the first activity we're doing with theme. The second activity actually begins our work with a book that's called The Freedom Riders. Okay, we're not going to read the whole thing. We're going to do quite a bit of work with it. All right. Um, and we are just going to present the different diary entries to you. It's actually based on a true story. It's about a teacher, an English teacher named Erin Gruelle, who, along with her students, wrote a book. And the book was called The Freedom Riders Diary because her kids went on to write it based on their diary entries from their own experiences in the human experience. All right. So this first one that we're going to read is called The White Kid. All right. It's a short little diary entry. It goes on to 2 pages here, but it's not terribly long. All right. I would like you to read it. All right. Then I would like you, and as you read it, all right, now that we have done a little bit of work with universal themes, I want you to read it with the idea in mind of what universal themes are present in here, which ones are being explored by this writer. Okay. And then any that you have found, I just want you to list those down here at the end. Okay. And then finally, I just want to read a reaction from you. All right. And mostly this is focused on character. And so, what is your impression of the person who wrote this diary entry? All right. So, based on what he or she presented here, what inferences or discoveries or conclusions have you reached about this character? Please write your first impression down here and explain why you feel the way that you do. Okie dokie. So, again, with that, you're going to read the diary entry with the idea of the universal themes in mind. As you read and as you discover different universal themes that present themselves, just list them down here. And then finally, when you're done, what is your impression of the person who wrote this diary entry? Okay. And then you will submit that when you're complete. All right. So that will be our introduction. Please know that a couple of these entries have some bad words in them. All right. There's a couple of F words. We have blocked those out. There's not one in this one. All right. So I'm just asking you to be mature about that. All right. What Miss Gruelle did is she gave her kids the authentic voice that they needed to write about their own experiences. All right. So you're going to find some profanity in here. I don't think it's gratuitous. I think it's authentic in terms of this is just the authentic voice that her kids had when they wrote these entries. All right. So hopefully that doesn't offend anyone. If it's going to be a problem for you, please just reach out to me individually and you and I can discuss some options. All right. So with that, I'm excited to dig into our theme work for this semester or this quarter. All right. If you need help, please reach out as always. All right. Again, happy Monday and welcome to Second Quarter Meets Chicos. That concludes our walkthrough.